masterful job of. The Power of Now guy did a good job of retelling. They're all basically Earl Nightingale, which is, I have to feel this way on the inside to project it on the outside. I think Earl was the first guy to really bring it forward than anybody else. And I think it even goes back to Dale Carnegie. The best people in business are those that are not selling, they're creating relationships. But knowing you, and we've done these shows, you didn't start off that way. You did do the door knocking and you did go down that route. Who was it that turned you in that direction? Who was it that inspired you to go in that direction?
Well, a couple of things I believe happened. One is I was searching for a better way because although I was being successful, I wasn't happy. I wasn't really happy with it. Then, my children were playing sports. My daughter was in basketball, my boys were in taekwondo, and I started having really good success working within the clubs of stuff that they were doing. I didn't have to cold call the people. I didn't have to door knock them. We were all doing a similar activity where we were enjoying our children, and they trusted me because, when people are working and they trust you with your kids and their kids, they'll tend to have a little bit more trust in you. And I saw how relationship wise that began to work. I actually went to a Brian Buffini seminar, and Brian's all into the referral, door and pop buys, write handwritten notes, et cetera, and all of that. And I did like that philosophy. I went to a Joe Stump thing, and very similar stuff, by referral only as they called it. Now I do have differences in their philosophy with that stuff. But those were things that kind of shifted my mind from where I was at. Cause I really was a Mike Ferriite, a Floyd Wickman sweat hog type. You got to roll your sleeves up and you got to go get it every day type of a person. I still believe in that part of a mindset, but I just believe that you can do it in a more of a quote unquote professional, consultant type of a manner. And I really believe that that's the type of attitude that helped me when the market shifted the last time, because I've been through a couple of shifts, but the last time that the market shifted, that type of role fit me well because I could have some compassion and I could have some understanding of things that the consumer was going through. And a lot of the people that were going through difficulties were past clients of mine. And they were people that were Raven fans of mine, and they were going through difficulty. So all of that kind of, I guess, evolved myself and evolved our team to where it is now. And I just felt that I could have the same type of success but also just be happier in doing it. I could still get on the phone now and maybe sometimes because you cold call, you do whatever, you will, I don't want to say fall back into that trap. I would say you can fall back into some habits because it became innate. It almost was a survival type of a thing. I mean, where you go back to it, almost like being, addicted to something and if you make one phone call, you want to call all day long. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh, so I had, but that being said, I know that there just was in my opinion, a better way and a way where I could be happy, in doing this. And I wanted to be happy because I really do like real estate. I really do like, aspects of it. But as I've said before, it's not a sexy business. So like anything else, I don't like everything about it. So I had to make sure that I was enjoying what I was doing. The biggest thing that I enjoy are helping people and to see their reactions and how they are after we have accomplished whatever their goals are in buying or selling. So I don't know if I've really answered the question
No, you
properly.
did. I'm just wondering if it requires self-awareness because there's a lot of self-awareness to your story, uh, where you placed yourself in the position of the client. And this is no knock on all the real estate agents listening. Well, maybe it is. I don't think they're aware of what their image is. They don't seem to be self-aware. They don't seem to be body aware. They don't. It's like they don't get their image. They don't get who they are.
I agree. Well, see, here's the thing too. Here's the thing. I, I have a saying about real estate myself. The real estate is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And, you know, just because you sell, 100 homes this year doesn't mean you're going to sell 100 homes next year if you don't have a system together, if you're not doing things in a manner to whereas people will continuously come back to you, work for you and all that, because I don't care what anybody says. We're not robots and you'll burn out. So now if you're able to say, use that figure again to sell 100 homes, and if you can sell 100 homes and then you no longer need to sell 100 homes anymore and life is good, then you can run through it and great, and you're out of real estate. Okay. But if you really plan on making this thing a career, you've got to work within a manner to where you can keep going, to where you can pace yourself. And I don't mean pace yourself by settling for less productivity either. I mean pace yourself to where you can be happy with it. Pace yourself where you can still enjoy your family, not miss the family moments, your children and their events and vacations and your spouse and all that other good stuff. You have to be able to put all this stuff into perspective. It's not just a go, 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 go. I mean, I'd have probably hung myself for the last 27 years. I got up every day and just knocked on doors. Now I know people that have I don't know that any of you that's done it 27 years, but I know people that have really done that and they burn out. And all of a sudden they just can't do or sell real estate anymore. That wasn't my thing either. And again, not knocking any of the people that train that, but the people that everybody knows about that train people to do that to do their business in that manner, they did not do it for a very long time and they became trainers. So it sounds good to say I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to knock on doors from 9 to 12 and all that. But the trainers that I know that train that, none of them did that for a long period of time. They did it for a short period of time and they moved on to something else, telling other people to do that. So again, nothing wrong with all that. But for me personally, just not was the way I saw myself sustaining in this business and being happy. And I feel that I'm about as happy as you can be in this business. I still choose to sell real estate because I like to, not just choose it because I have to. I could go out and sell something else or do something else, but I still like what I do.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And here's the thing. If I were a homeowner, and the reason I brought this all up today, because you are so uniquely different, and the top agents are more like you than they are. There are a few out there still that are very top agents that are money motivated, very driven. They build a big giant team. It's about their branding and getting their name and their signs, and they send thousands of postcards. They flood their area. It's almost like they beat their employees with a whip in the back room, and they build that little fortress. They're obsessed with their name recognition. I could think of one in the San Gabriel Valley that's been there for years. She's successful. Don't get me wrong. The people she hired are professional. They all wear ties. They all wear business suits. They all fit her image, and she is very happy with that. On the other hand, I'm more apt to what they call the Q factor, right? Am I more likely to hire this guy to have? I think homeowners are more likely to hire a guy that's their neighbor or feels like their neighbor instead of the silver fox in the polyester mustard jacket.
I agree. I agree with that. And things just progress. I think that's what that our industry sometimes doesn't get. There was a time when the mustard colored jacket, and on Halloween I'm gonna hand walk 1,000 pumpkins, and on the 4th of July I'm gonna hand put, the American flag in everybody's driveway, and I'm going to give out turkeys, et cetera, and all of that. There was a time when that was the norm. Uh, Even today, for people that want to do that sort of thing, because there are not as many people doing that, that can work. The whole flooded with 20,000 flyers every month. And man, when you really look at what your rate of return on that stuff is, besides the fact that it's a lot of work, your rate of return is not that great. Your rate of return is much better to build a database of people, work relationships, and to leverage your business that way. It's funny, I'm not there obviously, but this is the Keller Williams family reunion, or what we call it, but the convention, national convention right now. And I've been live streaming some of it doing work, and one thing that was very interesting is you had a speaker that came up, or economist, or whatever he was. I don't remember right now, to be honest, but actually talked about how agents that are buying their leads from Zillow, buying their leads from Trulia, doing a lot of that stuff, even with Realtor.com, with the stuff that they're purchasing to get leads, basically because they don't want to get out there and build relationships and really work, how their actual rate of return on that stuff is really a negative. They're buying negative business. It's almost like, why would you do that? What business buys negative business? I mean, unless you're on Wall Street and you're doing the shell game and you're going to try to go public sometime and sell out or something. I mean, who does that?
Right.
It doesn't make a whole lot. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Not to mention, as I'm on a soapbox here for a second. But
No, I'm with you. Look, see, I'm with you, and I know about family values, and I normally go up for a day and sneak into the expo. You know me. Why pay for it? I'll sneak in and go network with all the vendors and get some great people to interview on my show. I was there last year, and it was a ghost town. More people are telecommuting. So obviously people get the telecommute, right? There weren't physical bodies on the ground as much. And I'm completely with you, but there are still definitely two camps. There is the old guard, and there is, theoretically, you and I should still be the old guard. Theoretically, right. Based on our time in the industry. We were around for the book. We were around for the one-page contract. We were there. Okay? We were there the day the one-page became the two-page, and then it became the four-page. Right. And calling it the darkest day in real estate history, the four-page contract, because it was all legal jargon. And I can clearly remember the early 90s and being told how it was the darkest period of real estate because the lawyers had found us. That was me getting my license, was a trainer looking at me going, the lawyers have found us. And this is the way business will be. And he was part of the old guard. I mean, I was being trained. My real estate coach who got me ready for my test was a guy that really was the antithesis of everything we're talking about here. Of you, I don't want to be you. I would rather make a relationship with someone. And, I knew back then that you needed an angle. Right. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I think you and I are in agreement, right? The Zillow, and the reason I bring this up, the Zillow and Trulia thing. People are still buying leads from that. They're still talking about that. But we both know that Zillow and Trulia are going to merge. And they're going to wind up selling their data to anybody who's interested.
Absolutely.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen. I think the interview I did with Bill Crane when we decided that NAR was dead and they just didn't know it, it's true. I'm sure that the last travel agency thought they were the best travel agency. I'm sure the last buggy whip manufacturer thought they were the best buggy whip manufacturer before cars came in. People will always need that. People will always need a live travel agent so they can live the experience. Now I got photos. Now tell me why I need a real estate agent. Because online escrows are going to happen. You and I both know that. Online real estate can happen. We have virtual tours. We have drones. The only thing an agent will be, and we've already seen this with Redfin. Redfin is now hiring agents to basically unlock the door and fill out the paperwork.
right.
They're testing that in markets right now.